Hello, my name is Catherine Meyer, and I'm going to be going over what an integrated marketing communication plan is for Kersey Economic Development Commission. So what is an integrated marketing communication? Integrated marketing communication is an approach to brand communications where the different modes work together to create a seamless experience for the customer and are presented with a similar tone and style that reinforces the brand's core message. So this is basically taking different avenues that you go out and you talk to internal and external customers in the same types of fashion, and you make sure that everyone is doing everything the same way. An integrated marketing communication plan process. First thing you do is you start with setting your business goals. It is very important to set goals that you can reach, that are overall goals for the business. The next thing you need to do is that you're going to review your marketing strategies. So you want to see what you did last year, how you performed last year, how your competitors performed. You want to look at your marketing mix that you used last year, what was working, what wasn't. The next thing you need to do is a SWOT analysis. And what a SWOT analysis is to look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So you look at your own business and you look at what your strengths were, what you did well, where you're weak, as in maybe your customer service isn't as good as it should be, things like that. The next thing you want to do is you want to identify your target audience. Getting down into your key segments and what your relationship is with them helps you to get to that, to personalize your messages for that specific audience. And targeting allows you to get to specific ways of doing that. And this will also help you with your approaches as we pick out channels and things that we're going to do with that. The next thing you should do is select objectives for each piece. So you need to do SMART objectives. These are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. Having these types of things helps you to set goals and know exactly what you're trying to measure against. If you don't have these, then you don't have anything to measure towards. The next thing you need to look at is your communication strategies. How are you going to be communicating with your audience? Are you going to be using a website? Are you going to be using email campaigns? Things of that nature. The next thing you need to look at is determining your tactics. And I'm sorry, I got those wrong. So your tactics are your email and your website and your social media and which channels. Your communication strategies is how are you going to be speaking to each one of these customers. The next thing you have to do is you need to determine your budget. Budget usually does have everything to do with which tactics you can use and what strategies you can define. So having a budget and knowing how much you can put towards that is very important. If you don't have the budget to do everything, then we need to scale back. So those are some things we have to look at. And then we need to evaluate the effectiveness of each of our campaigns. So we need to look at each thing and know whether it worked for us or it didn't. So setting goals. So the first thing you need to do is you're going to be setting business goals. And your business goals define the overall direction of the business. A goal that all IMC goals are set to help in accomplishing. So every one of your integrated marketing communications plans and objectives will help to support your overall business goals. So the next thing is your IMC goals or objectives. So these are the SMART goals. Or SMART objectives. So this is the basis for all of our strategy going forward. It'll be used to measure the effectiveness of each tactic and overall strategy. It will allow us to adjust campaigns to meet objectives, and it'll track against the overall business goals as stated before. So there are some common objectives to our what we do in any IMC plan. They are usually to create brand awareness, increase market share, build traffic to the various channels that you have, or to increase sales. Determining a budget and setting one up is very important. So what the budget functions for is it shows us how our marketing efforts are funded. So we need to know how much we're going to be putting towards our budget for our marketing efforts. It also determines who will benefit from the programs, whether it is a specific department or it's your employees, or if it's just basically exactly what the program, your customers. And then there are various purposes for the budget. It'll help us control our resources. It'll help us prioritize and coordinate activities. So whatever various channels that we're doing and what we can fit within that budget. It'll help us to communicate plans to all stakeholders so that they know what we are able to do. And it will provide visibility to the company on the performance of our marketing plans, so that whether we're within budget, below budget, over budget, that will tell us the company performance on this IMC plan. There are different ways to measure your IMC plan, but the main goal or main reason that you use measurement is to measure your campaign's effectiveness. Because you really need to know what is working, what's not, if it actually did what we had planned on doing. So in meeting your goals, are you meeting your sales goals? Are you meeting your market share goals, your budget goals, return on investment, making a profit? Are the channels and tactics working together? So is everything doing exactly what you're wanting them to do? So the elements of marketing performance is sales analysis, market share analysis, expense analysis, and financial analysis. And there are some indirect measures like tracking lost business or tracking complaints, to know who is complaining and where people are with your company and how they feel about your company. Some goals for the Kersey Economic Development Commission. So the Kersey Economic Development Commission is looking to build awareness of the community and acquire new business to the area. So some IMC goals or SMART goals for this company is to recruiting both small to mid-sized companies suited to the community that will offer more opportunities to the citizens and promote our sense of community. And the next one is increase tourist traffic to promote local business, events, and attractions. Increase traffic by at least 5% each year. So here are some target audiences that we've defined for the Kersey Economic Development Commission. First one is entrepreneurs within the community or those wanting to set up their own small business. Second one is small and mid-sized companies that are looking to expand in other communities that will meet the expectations of our current citizens and will fit within our own community culture. And the last one is local and surrounding area citizens for tourist-related activities, for events and festivals and things like that. So here are some channels that we've identified that would be useful for the Kersey Economic Development Commission. The first one is a website. So we create a website, we can do our promotions there, we can promote our events, we can give them all the information about the city and the town and the area. We'd want to search engine optimize this so that people within the local area would be able to come, be able to search local for things to do, things like that. The next area we want to move into is some social media. Get some a Facebook page, possibly Twitter. Make sure that we put in our events, our contact information, information about the area, different things like that. We want to post all of these events. We want to post different promotions or things or contests that we're having on, name that slogan for the city. Or why do you like the city? You could even have that something for testimonials. The next thing is to do some targeted search ads for our events and different things like that, or even targeted search for businesses that might want to come here. The next two things are direct mail, which would be like postcards and flyers, and then a monthly newsletter for the town. And it could go out to the community at large, just to let everyone know what's going on, what we're doing, that they can go to the website, that they can follow us on Facebook, different things like that. So some different content that we're doing here. So a unique selling proposition could be like living well, working well, learning well, different things like that. Something about the community that just promotes how life is great in this community. The tone should be personable and very conversational for the community. You want them to think that you're just the next average person, which you are. But you also want to be professional enough so that your business audiences aren't drawn away. So you want to put some information on the site that's about our events, our event planning, different festivals that we have, fairs. It could even be county fairs. It could be things that were within a 60-mile radius of the area, different things that are fun. You could even put about our different attractions we have here. You want to put in, have like local small business classes on how to start a business, how to develop a business plan, things that would help people be able to actually start a business if they were considering doing so. Some other things that can possibly draw people in is doing some educational farm tours. We have a lot of farms around here. They're pretty much dairy farms. And even as a child, I had been in a very small town like this, and we did go on a dairy farm tour in elementary school, and it showed us how they actually process milk, and we went to the barn, and it just made it very interactive. It allowed them, so you could draw in schools from other areas to do the same. We can also talk about our recreational activities, our attractions here, what their benefits are to the community, what they are to people that are coming from tourists, and how they would benefit new companies coming here. And we want to make sure that we put images that promote the community, that are about the community, should do things around our events. Make sure those things are in there too. And definitely show lifestyle. So we not only want to unify our outward message, we also want to unify the message internally. So we want to give a sense of community and make our employees in the community feel like they are valued. So the internal stakeholders that would be responsible for this would be included in on this would be like the mayor's office staff, town council, planning board, police, fire, public works, recreation, and the county government. Some other things, different ways that we can communicate with all of these people is we could have weekly staff meetings. We can have, you already have monthly town council meetings. So this is another way to communicate through email, intranet, internal employee newsletters. Have quarterly updates from various departments, either online or given through their supervisors. So there's just different ways that we can speak with the internal employees and get them to understand what the message is that we want to put out. If you're using that living well, we can make sure that's on their uniforms for the different departments we have here. It's just you really need to get everyone on board. So we could even have a community where you pull one person from each of these areas and you create a committee so that they can be the positive word for change in their area. Some specific concerns I wanted to address for the community is that we really do need to get the internal buy-in because it'll be very vital here. So we want to create a sense of team and collaboration. We'll need to delve into the current structure of the town, what their current marketing looks like, how their current communication structure is working. Next, we will need to set up weekly meetings to get all teams together to work towards and educate on a unified message. Getting all the teams and allowing their input to create the overall message will help in unifying those teams together. Then we can ask for a volunteer or assign one member from each team to serve on the committee to develop the message further. This again will allow them to become that proponent for change within their respective departments. We'll make the message about the community and how the community lives and works, how they come together, staying with the theme of live well. We can begin to incorporate this into the internal culture. Adding the slogan to all town employees' uniforms on letterhead, logo, etc. will help both internally as well as externally. And just having these different brainstorming sessions will help in creating that whole team and buy-in from all of the stakeholders. So some ways that we will be engaging with you in the town is we're going to first set up a town hall with all employees to identify the representative for each stakeholder group and brainstorm through some additional ideas for slogans and get everyone on board with that. We then want to finalize our goals for this project and make sure that our marketing and our communications is all in working towards the objectives that we'll set, both the top level business goals as well as the objectives for each one of our marketing campaigns. We will also have monthly stakeholder meetings with the entire group to monitor the plan progress. We'll have weekly emails to update the teams on additional progress for the various channels we'll be setting up. We'll also make sure that you have one point of contact that you can contact in our office so that we know everything that's going on if you even run into any issues, so that we can immediately help. I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions or comments, you can either let me know or you can contact me at this address. And I am also attaching an IMC plan and proposal for you to review after this presentation. Thank you.